Hey everybody, it's Pam with Silver and Sparkles. Welcome, so glad you're here. So I'm doing a design team project today for Sylvia with Las Mimes Amores, and someone pointed out that I've been saying that wrong for a while, but I'm going to go with it because Sylvia thinks it's funny how I pronounce things, and we're going to go with that. So this is her secret garden kit. It's available on Etsy. Let me show you what I made. I just love all the florals, and again, kind of into summer, thinking about getting ready for fall. These have a lot of really nice neutrals. So what I've made, and I haven't really decided what to call it, but it is, I guess, an ephemera holder, and it just has the 3 pages. I used vellum. I talked about wanting to make one of my larger ephemera holders using vellum. Haven't done it yet, but this kit just called out to me that it would be so pretty seeing some of the fun images, journaling cards, things like that. So this kit is actually unique in that it's just a set of collage pages, which you guys know I am a sucker for, right? So the pages, this is just a variety of them. And I started looking at them and I thought, I'm gonna have so much fun cutting these apart and making ephemera, right? And then I thought, well, why not make an easy peasy little book to put them in, and you can add more pages if you want, but we're going to make one that's 3 pages and hopefully do a fun collage front and stuff some things inside. So it's just going to be a fun project. So use any paper you like, single-sided paper. You don't need to print on both sides. You can use digital, scrapbook paper, plain cardstock if you then want to decorate. However, whoops, I don't need that yet. So to make this easy, what I did is I haven't even trimmed these off yet, right? I'm just going to fold each page, and I've just decided to wing it and use the top 3. Looking for my bone folder, y'all. Bone folder, where can you be? I just picked the top 3. They're all so pretty. These are going to make the little pages. And then the other ones that are left, I printed the kit out once, so I think I'm going to have enough to make 2 of these little ephemera books, and then ephemera for both of them. So that's kind of fun. And if you're interested in this kit, I will link it for you in the description below. But again, just to make it super easy, I haven't even trimmed anything yet, and I folded them all in half. I will look at the pages in a minute and decide which way I want them to go. One page will technically be upside down, but I'm okay with that. All right, so once you fold it in half, we are going to cut, try to cut straight the white pieces off, and then I do that first so that I can decide which side I want to cut from. I want to end up with 6.5 inches. So on this one, I'm going to cut off of this end, and we're going to go to 6.5. And now I have this strip if I want to use it for something later. Okay, and for the size book I'm making, we just need 3 of these. So again, let me just trim these up really quick. I wanted you to see how quickly, this will come together. I kind of like this image right here. I'm going to cut from this side. I know that'll chop this heart a little bit, but that still looks really cool. Yeah, I like that. All right. And the last one. All right, which side, guys? I like this flower, but I also like this flower. Now, I could do a little bit from each. We're going to go right here. And that way I'll have these strips that are maybe a little more usable for something later. I'm gonna let these strips go. Aren't you guys proud of me? All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is score each of these pages. So I am gonna put out my scoreboard. If you don't have a scoreboard, you can just use like a metal ruler and some type of like a bone folder or scoring tool. So again, now I need to decide which way do I want the page, because see, if this is the front, let's just assume this is gonna be the front cover. I don't know if it is yet or not. And then you open it up. See how this is a little bit upside down? Again, I'm okay with that. These are collage papers. It doesn't bother me, but I do need to decide, like, do I want this to be the right side up? I think I want it to be this one. So once I decide, then I'm gonna score this at 1/2 inch. I'm just opening it up and scoring it at 1/2 inch. And it doesn't matter if it opens at the bottom or if it opens at the top. I'm gonna glue it all together anyway. So we'll do that for each piece. Decide which way do we want it. I think I'm gonna do this one this way. So again, score at 1/2 inch. And then this one, I'm definitely doing this way because I want to see these flowers and not have them be all upside down. There we go, 1/2 inch. Now I have, and I think fairly recently, done projects where I bind them like this. And so this part, you know, isn't new, but I think once we learn some techniques and they're easy and they work for us, it's okay to reuse them and reinvent them, right? So if you're like, well, I already know how to do that, that's okay. Maybe you'll get an idea for something else that I do today, or you can fast forward, or, you know, whatever. Sometimes, you know, I like to take and build upon techniques and ideas that I've already used. So that's just me. All right, we are going to ink everything, and I am going to use my bone folder and really crease that hinge really well here in a minute, but I just wanted to go ahead and get a little bit of ink on it. So, you know, I could do it now, right? And you just kind of work with it. Eventually, these fold up pretty well for me. And if I have a little bit of that edge, I'll just trim it off. It'll be okay. All right, let's go ahead and fold this one since we're here. I did print mine on Nina 90-pound white cardstock. I'm gonna get it on Amazon. It is available in my Amazon storefront. It's kind of what I call my everyday paper. I don't tend to print much on just like a regular copy weight. I like, because I add so many pockets and different things, even to my pages, I like having some sort of cardstock weight. And so this is what I use. Now, I also do have heavier cardstock that I do use at times, but again, not that often. This one to me works. I can always layer and back it if I want it to be a little bit thicker, and it just prints really pretty, I think. So there we go. All right, for all of these, I'm going to glue them. And I'm gluing the whole piece, hinge and all. So just, you don't need a lot of glue. I do want it to close up like this. And I'm gonna set these aside before I mess with this. I found if I give it enough time to set, that piece folds better, okay? So set these aside once you have them glued together. If you are enjoying my content and like the projects I do, please take just a moment and give the video a thumbs up. Drop me a quick comment so I know you're out there. And if you haven't already, I hope you'll choose to subscribe so you'll get notified, especially if you hit the bell, but you'll be able to see when I drop new videos, which is almost every day. when I'm out of town or have something going on. Sometimes it's not every day, but this is kind of what I do, and I love it. And I love sharing ideas with you guys. So thank you. Thank you for joining me. And oh, and I'm in the middle right now. It's active, depending on when you're watching this, but this right now is August of 2025. And I do have a giveaway going on, and you have to get all the details in a different video. I'll link that video for y'all in the description in case you missed it. Go watch that video. It's super easy to get your name in the drawing, and the drawing is going to be, I think I said September 2nd. It's a Tuesday, so like, and not quite, a little less than 2 weeks away. I just, this last Tuesday announced the giveaway. Okay, now, again, I'm not going to worry about binding this yet. We have this line here to help us know, you know, where it's going to be bound, so we don't put anything over it. I'm going to decide which one I want for the front, and I'm going to pick these flowers, and we'll still do some embellishing to the front, but we certainly aren't going to need a whole lot. But I'm going to show you how I made the vellum pockets and tuck spots. So if this is going to be the cover, this would be the first page. Looking to see. All right. And I'm going to make this the second page, and then this one the last page. Is that right? Yeah. That'll be the back. And if I want to, I can. It doesn't really bother me that that's upside down. I keep saying that, but maybe it does bother me, right? No, it's okay. All right, I love this. All right, so this is how, once it's bound together, it will be. It'll actually be like that, right? So, pockets. I am using vellum. I can try to remember to put the kind in the link, but again, it's in my Amazon storefront, which is always linked for you guys. Now, the sections that we have to work with are now 6 inches wide, because I don't want to cross over onto my binding. And these are like 5 1/4 tall. And that's going to help me as I go to make my pockets. I am going to go just a smidge under 6 inches, like 5 7/8, just to make sure it fits in there nice. And then I'm going to, can probably do a finger tear. I'm going to use my little, if I can find it, my little tear ruler. And I'm going to double check to make sure. Yes, that fits in there. What I did was I did kind of a narrow one, a narrow pocket, and then a pocket that was a little bit thicker for a couple of the pages. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut this in half. So 4 1/4. All right, and you'll see how this is going to work. Okay, so I want kind of a skinnier pocket to layer top of a bigger pocket. So now I can turn this one like this with the straight edge at the bottom, and then layer this one on top right here. Now, when I add some distress ink, and I am using walnut stain, you can use any color you want, but it does help the vellum stand out a little bit. Like you can see it there a touch more. See what I mean? So I am going to ink these. And this will be for that first page. So we obviously, you know, it's like a stacked pocket. I'm going to put the larger one down first. I'm going to try to be careful with my glue. I am using art glitter glue today. My everyday glue is Line Co brand PVA glue, and it would work for this, but when I'm on camera, something like vellum, I do want it to grab really well. The PVA glue gives me a little more grace, a little more wiggle room time, and that's good and bad on camera, right? But I know this is going to work. And the PVA, if that's what you have, that will work too. Just, you know, be careful. It'll wiggle a little on you until it grabs, and then you're fine. All right, so glue on the 3 sides. Simple pocket. And I did come to this edge and stayed away from adding too much bulk here where my spine's gonna be. And you don't really even notice it. Okay, now we may decorate the pockets some as we go. On the prototype, I actually added a strip from one of the pages just to give it a little more color on the page. This one I added a piece of rickrack. I left that one plain. This one got some rickrack. So again, I like seeing stuff through the pockets, so I didn't really want to add too much to them. Okay, now on this page, on the prototype, I did a side tuck pocket going that direction. Looking at the images and deciding I may do, on this one, I may do like a corner pocket like this. So we hopefully see a little more of the flowers. Yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna save this piece because I'm gonna do at least one more double stack like this. Let's use a portion of this piece. I'm just gonna lay it here, and I'm gonna be brave. I know it's hard to see, but I'm at the corner here and just made an angle that I like. In fact, I'm gonna bring it down just a touch. Let's see what happens. I didn't want it to be a straight point at the top, and see how by doing that, I have a little more for the vellum to grab a hold of when I go to glue it down. All right. So you can make different shape pockets. You don't have to stay with how I'm doing mine. This one's different from the prototype because, again, I'm looking at the images on my pretty papers. All right, here we go. I mentioned the giveaway, but I didn't tell you guys what it was, did I? The other video gives you all those details, so I'm not going to show you, but it is one of my handmade journals. It's actually a lap journal that's not finished. It's all put together and pretty, but you'll be able to journal in it, decorate it however you want. Okay, I'm going to turn the page, and I'm going to do this one the same way, and then we'll decide which one that's going to go on. And then goodies and things from my stash, things that I found on my trip where I went to the 127 yard sale, the world's longest yard sale. And so I've just been adding little things to the box. In the video, I showed a few things I was putting in there, but I'm adding more. I added a couple of buttons, and like I said, just as I come across little pieces and bits, I'm adding a little fabric. I think there's a doily in there. Anyway, there's just some stuff from my stash, and some fun flower paper kit thing that I actually have 2 of, so I'm letting one go. So anyway, just some stuff. It's just a little giveaway to say thank you to all you guys. All right, and it's all gonna fit in a flat rate box. Let me look at the size of the box here in a second and tell you guys, because I picked the box out. So now the goal is to fill it. Here's the box. It's a medium flat rate, so it's still got plenty of room for more stuff to fit in there. It's going to be a great giveaway. Make sure you go and look at that and sign up. And I'll keep talking about it for a while. So if you get tired of me talking about it, sorry. All right. Here we go. All right, so this one is like the first one we did. I just wanted another one of these because I think they look pretty and they hold quite a bit. Now we need to decide what we want to do on this one. And I've got the angle. I did really like the side tuck pocket, so maybe we'll just do that again. Okay. Okay, it's the right height. There we go. And I will save that for something else. So now this one has a side tuck pocket, a corner pocket, and then 2 stacked pockets. Okay. Alrighty. The next thing we will do is tie it together. And get it stacked together. Again, super easy. We're just gonna punch 2 holes and tie it with some kind of ribbon. So I want my ruler and my regular ruler. Where did I put my regular ruler? It's probably, y'all are probably going, it's right there, Pam. I mean, it was right here. Okay, I'm not seeing it, so we're going to use my grid here. And 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5 1/4. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come down 1.5 inches from the top. That's what I did with the other one. Make a dot. And then I'm going to do 1.5 inches and make a dot. All right, just 2 holes. And you can just use a hole punch, whatever you have. I'm going to do all 3 layers at the same time and use my crocodile. And I'm using the smaller hole just because I didn't make a super wide hinge here. Now, on this one, what did I use? I used a piece of this chiffon material that I've been tearing into strips. Guys, I love it. Now, if strings like this make you a little crazy, maybe this isn't the ribbon for you. I don't mind fussing with it. It doesn't bother me that much. But I am going to, and maybe by the time y'all see the video, they'll be up, but I am going to put some little, I'm looking for the bag so I can show you. I'm going to put some sample packs together. So this one I've been tearing up, and the strips I'm doing are approximately this wide. And I say approximately, I don't know where my ruler is. That is a little more than 2 inches wide, but again, it's all done by hand, so it could vary. But there's different colors. This is another one. So when you get one strip of it, and I may put 2 of each color, I haven't decided, but you know, you have just different pieces you can work with and use little pieces, you can use large pieces. These are all 5-foot strips, okay? And then I've got, I think 3 more colors to add to it. So anyway, it's fun. It is, like I said, it's like chiffon. It will fray, but it's pretty, and I'm enjoying it, and I hope you will too. But what I learned with this one is when I tied it, everything, the pages just like, I couldn't get it tight enough. They just wiggled. So let me show you the trick we're gonna do. We'll start with, this is my back cover page. I am just adding, not a lot, but just a little bit of glue to help hold it steady and secure. And I'm just stacking the page, okay? And then we're gonna put the ribbon through to, you know, also help with the binding and make it look pretty, right? So I hope that made sense. I just glued these together. I guess I could have shown you what it does with this type of ribbon if I don't glue the pages right there. But trust me, they wiggle wobbled. All right, do I want to use this section? Do I want to use the darker section, or do I want to use the kind of ready pink? I think I'm going to use some of the dark and some of the light. We'll see what that looks like. Now, if you have difficulty, and again, I obviously tore this piece more narrow. If you get like a 2-inch strip and you're afraid to just tear it, you can just cut it, right? But if you have trouble getting these to go through the holes, kind of just bunch it up and then get something like a big-eyed needle or a paper pierce or something like that, and it'll just push it through for you. And I like tying a bow. And again, I do like it to be secure, so I'm gonna also tie a knot here. Let me know what y'all think about the chiffon strips, and if that's something that you're interested in. Like I said, they may already be up, but if you're like, not my thing, or I like other kinds of ribbon, let me know. Or if you're like, oh yes, I'm one of those people, I like anything that's sort of relates to a ribbon. So there you go. Yeah, look, cute, right? I mean, this, honestly, the front barely needs anything. All right, these pages are a little crooked. Probably has to do with me gluing them, but that's okay. We're gonna just go with it. Okay, so now when you go to open it, they will just crease like that. All right, fun. And now it's just decorating, and we will take a little time to tear and cut some of these. Ooh, that one's gonna be great. These apart. I also want that bottle to make some super easy ephemera to tuck in here. But again, you can put anything in yours that you want to. Love it. Okay. The pieces that I used to decorate the prototype was this strip that was from a vintage pillowcase, and this piece, which I thought was so pretty, and it's kind of faded and muted. And then this is like stretchy sequiny something that I made a little mini cluster with some paper out of, and this was part of one of the pages. I just tore out this postage stamp. So I think just to make my life easy, I am going to use the same trims and yeah, and do something similar. Now, obviously, the image may call for a different arrangement, but let's just lay it out and think. You can also go to this side. I'm not even sure. I mean, I like this a lot with the original, but I've got to decide this pink is quite different. So I may want to do something else. And I have lots of things. I have lots of things just laying here. This is neutral, but it tends to pick up the colors it's around. So let's just see. All right, let me cut a strip of this to the correct length. And this is what I tend to do. I mean, I obviously could measure 5 1/4, but why measure if I don't have to? And then I'm going to cut this pretty close to where it has sewn on. What I discovered about the material, this is like a really nice thick material the pillowcase was made out of. You know, they don't make them like this anymore. But let me find the strip. Okay, I found that it tears into little strips really well. This again would be cute to stamp. Remember the video I did in stamped words? So it would be so cute for that. So I'm definitely saving those little strips. Now, once I get this glued down, I will trim it off. That's the word I'm going for. I don't know if this is going to be long enough to do what I have on my mind, but I was thinking a little pink. Yeah, it's not going to be long enough. A little pink polka dotted bow would be really cute, but maybe we'll just glue it down with these. Go there. All right, I'm just going to glue this down and then start playing. So I'm using hot glue. You can use Fabrifix, whatever, you know, whatever you're comfortable with. Again, on camera especially, using Fabrifix is just a challenge for me because you have to really, or I do anyway, I have to wait for it to dry, and then I get it all over my fingers, and it's a whole thing for me. So, but I do have it, and I do use it, but I tend to use it privately. How's that? Okay, every once in a while I pull it out. I'm like, oh, my hot glue is not, you know, heated up, but it's a lot. All right, I was thinking just a strip here. It's not quite even, not quite long enough, but I'm going to make it work because I like the pop of pink happening. Just put it right there. I'm being brave. Just laying that glue down fast. Okay, now do I also want a little piece of the ruffle? Of course I do, right? And I'm not going to trim this until after it's glued. Okay. And I obviously, since my trip and I have more trims and different things to work with, I've been incorporating this into my journal, making a little more, and I'm really having fun with it. If this isn't your style, you know, it's okay to just use paper. A lot of my projects are mostly paper focused, but I am having a lot of fun playing with these. Oh, how cute. Now let's see if we can find in the big tub of buttons. I kind of wanted a little fancier button, but I would like pink if possible. Ooh, green. I said I would like pink, and then look at me grab that green. It's a little big. It was a little big. Sometimes let's open that bag. We haven't opened it yet. Sometimes I pick all of this out ahead of time, and sometimes I don't. And I am having a lot of fun opening up things I haven't opened yet. Like I bought these bags of buttons and I put them in the tin with the other buttons, but I haven't looked at these yet. So here we go. Maybe we'll find something. Ooh, that's a pretty light pink, and I love the shape of it. It may be hard to see. Little tiny ones, navy. Those are gorgeous. That'll go pretty with my Sea Turtle and Friends kit. Ooh, yellow. Isn't this fun, y'all? I can't help it. It is so fun. Look how old. It says it's washable, cleanable for sportswear. Little heart buttons. Lovely. I just love buttons. And I have that button book that I found that has button themed projects. I'm going to pick one and we're going to do one of those soon. I promise, because I'm so excited about that. Oh, look, it's the hearts, but like in a silver. Okay. Into the round tin you go. Let's maybe do... And again, it is hard because part of me wants to leave these. I know they're, quote, more valuable if they are left on the cards and stuff, but I also want to use them. So I'm just going to let myself do that. What? 2 is usually not my jam. Let's see what 3. I don't want it to look strange. Would it be better with 1? With 2 at pink and 1 green? Or just 2? You know, for some reason 2 seems to be working for me. Do I want a little piece of sparkle? I think I'm going to just do this. And I'm going to leave the metal right there. I think that looks kind of interesting to me. Let me turn the button the right way. All right, we're just going for it. And I could have sewn them on, obviously. I could have added some thread or something, but oh, I love it. I like it. That's what we're gonna do. All right, we'll set those sort of out of the way, hopefully. Now, let me show you all I did to make the ephemera that is in the original is I just picked some of the pages, and I am using, sometimes I used the ruler, sometimes I used the trimmer or my scissors. But, of course, the tear ruler is nice and quick. and I love the edges it leaves, and it lends itself well, you know, to this type of paper. I'm going to go ahead and tear like this. I'm going to cut that out for something, but I kind of liked having a piece of it there. So this is where sometimes I did this, and I'm not worrying about it being perfect. So when I add a little ink and do some things with it, it will be fine. I think I'm going to leave that there too. We can always tear it or cut it off later. We'll decorate that a little. We might use that one, so I'll just set it there. Now, I'm going to cut out this New York City, what does it say? Jet Set Airlines, New York. I wonder if that was a real airline at some point, or if it's just something somebody made up. I really don't know. If you guys know, let me know. Somebody Google it. Okay. Again, I love making pieces for my journals like this. This is one of the reasons it's hard for me to pass up a good collage paper set. And I have several in my shop too that I started making. But yeah, I love a good collage paper set. So I was really excited when I saw this one in Sylvia's August paper release. I was like, yay! Plus the colors and patterns and all of those things really kind of are my vibe. All right, I hope this isn't going to be too long for one of my pockets. If so, we'll figure something out, won't we? And again, if you want to, all of these things, they can be mounted on another piece of cardstock. We could you know, sew around them. We could add stickers. There's just so many things we could do. But I am showing you what I think are some fast and easy ways to have a nice big pile of ephemera. We're going to do one more because I really want this bottle here. How do I want to do that? Wrong scissors. I'm really trying hard to keep my fabric and ribbon scissors sharp. These work great still. I mean, I've had them for years and years, and I was using them for everything, and for years and years they worked for everything. And then they got a little dull for ribbon and fabric, so I got a new pair. And then I thought, well, these are still awesome for my scissors, or for my paper. They are for scissors. They're awesome for scissors, for paper. So I am working hard to the one with the ribbon only used for fabric, like my mother tried to teach me back in the day. Thank you, Mama. Mama now has been in heaven. It's hard to believe that it has been 15 years that I've lived on in the world without her. And actually I haven't. She's with me all the time, and I know that, and my faith helps me trust and believe and know that. But yeah, I miss her so much. Sometimes it still can kind of take my breath away. I was lucky. I got a good mama. Her name's Sally. I think I've mentioned Sally before, so, well, I know I have. All right. Not quite sure about these larger pieces right here, but I'm going to keep them large until I decide what I want to do. And then I may, you know, tear them into smaller little tags or bits and pieces. All right, we have another one if we decide we need it, and it does have a really pretty heart on it, but okay. Now, because I glued the pages together. No, because I love a journaling card. You know, this, like I said, really is my jam, and I love to ink. So all of these, in my opinion, need to be inked. Now, I'm not going to sit here and ink them all right now, but I do think it really steps it up a notch. Now, see, I love seeing that flower through there. So then, as I go to put some other little pieces in, I may be careful, you know, where and how I tuck things in, right? I know that I am going to want to add some ribbon to some things like I did in the prototype. But right now, I'm just going to go through and kind of tuck some things in and see how we do. And with all these rough edges, you kind of have to be a little patient with your tucking in the vellum. Come on, little corner, don't do that to me. There we go. And that kind of covers up the fact that the page is a little upside down. Oh, so cute. I like that heart, and I love this here too. So again, I may be a little careful about what I tuck in. This flower. All right, it may cover up that flower, but I think it's okay, and she fits there nicely. There we go. Just little bits and pieces, and again, when I add some ink, add some ribbon, it will look like actual ephemera, not just torn pieces of paper. But this would be a great gift for somebody, so then they could use all of these pieces for their journal, right? All right, I'm gonna add this one right here to this pocket. I don't think it covers up too much of what's inside, and give it a little bit of a finish. But again, if you wanted to give somebody, if they're just getting into journaling, or they, you know, if they do memory keeping, scrapbooking, that kind of thing, I think this would be just a lovely gift. Now, if we want to, we can add, like I added the rickrack to the pocket of the other one. And again, this color ended up working really well for the paper kit. And this is, again, some from my journey. Let's turn it this way. I'm just turning it around to make it a little easier for me with the glue gun. And I'm going to go ahead and trim this off to make it a little bit easier for me too. All right. And it just adds some extra texture, pop of color. And if you don't want to leave it hanging off, you can trim it. I'm going to see what it looks like. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Like I said, I'm probably going to add ribbons and things anyway at some point. Oh gosh, I have strings. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I am gonna share that I am having a hot flash right now, and it started a few minutes ago. And women of a certain age can probably relate and understand, but I am not the most comfortable right at the moment, so I'm gonna go cool off. I hope you guys like the project. Please, if you can commiserate with my hot flash, let me know that. If that's not the age group you're in, I totally understand too. But thank you for watching. I hope you love these as much as I do. I just think they're special and very sweet. Thank you, Sylvia, for the beautiful paper too and the inspiration. Okay, everybody, take care until next time.